I wish I met you before my wife, said Jeremy as he curled up with Lovett, his Sidechick. They had been dating for 4 months. Lovett's existence in Jeremy's life is yet unknown by his wife, Mabel. Mabel has been married to her husband for 3 years and they have a son together. Mabel was a beautiful slim lady who became a fat beautiful woman after childbirth. It wouldn't have been a problem only if she didn't marry a childish man who got disappointed that her shape changed. Mabel is a quantity surveyor who goes to work early and comes home in the evening every day. Mabel has had a hard time juggling her job and motherhood together. Jeremy doesn't help with house chores and he doesn't drop money to outsource chores. I can't be married and still be spending unnecessary money like a single man would say. Mabel has had confrontations with him many times on this, and when she realized it was causing a rift in her home, she started outsourcing with her money, but not without a disgust for her husband. She has always been a beauty enthusiast. She invests in skincare, good hair, and she has a great dress sense, but her husband wasn't pleased with all that. Why are these stretch marks still there? I thought you said you were using some product on it. Eh? He would query. It takes time to fade. Also, the cream I have been using on it comes expensive and I don't have money again. What about you give me some money so I buy the cream? Mabel would say. Giving you money for cream isn't part of my duty. The only money I owe you is money for food and groceries. Any other thing is your business. Mabel's eyes flashed in shock. Really? I'm hungry. Serve me my food, said Jeremy, who walked out of the room. Mabel stood there, ruminating over the discussion. Is giving me money to look good not supposed to be priority to him? She asked herself. She kept these things in her heart. Jeremy, on the other hand, gives his side chick money for skincare, hair, clothes, and weekend shoppings. She was the full representation of small girl, big God. Jeremy also hired a maid who attends to her. Her skill was flawless, her youthfulness captivating because she doesn't sweat at all. If only Mabel would put in half the effort Lovett makes to look good, I won't be cheating on her, he told himself while driving home from his South Chick's house one day. This can't continue, said Mabel, who went into the living room one evening to confront her husband. Jeremy looked up from his phone that he was pressing. What is it this time? I can't keep paying the maid who comes here purposely to attend to your needs, said Mabel violently. The only reason that girl has to come home every day is because you eat only fresh food. Left to my schedule, I can still manage to cook for the whole week on Saturday. But no, you don't eat stale food, so food has to be cooked daily, she said. Jeremy looked at her, trying to get her point. What exactly is your point? My point is, since your comfort is the major reason she comes daily, why am I the one paying her? I am not the one that insists on fresh food. It's you, so you should pay her, she argued. Jeremy chuckled, stood up and went to her. You will have to continue paying her because she is making up for your failure as a wife. If not for your laziness, why aren't you cooking for me daily? Did my mother not cook for my father daily for years? What's wrong with women of nowadays? Said Jeremy. I am not your mother. I have a job that takes the bulk of my time. I have a very active toddler that I have to look after, and you still expect me to serve you like you are a baby? She went in angrily. Jeremy shook his head. You see why I prefer Lover's company? She doesn't complain, he said. Mabel rushed in. Who is Lovett? Surprised, Jeremy looked up. Oh, you heard that? Is that why you rushed out? You better don't kill yourself, he said. and walked out of the room. Mabel kept staring in shock. Is he cheating on me? Mabel became insecure and did some findings. She realized that truly he was cheating on her. She confronted him and he didn't deny it. Mabel marveled at the audacity. She wondered why he has lost so much respect for her, to the extent that he would consent to cheating on her to her face. Unhappy, she fought back in her own way. She stopped cooking his food. She moved out of their room into the guest room. She stopped attending to him and his needs. Jeremy laughed through it all. Don't worry, she will soon replace you, he would say, while Mabel would flash her angry eyes at him. Mabel spent more time outside the house. She took her son out many times. Sometimes she would leave him with her friends. She has many of them. She would rather be anywhere except the house. She went home only when she wanted to sleep. Where is my son? Jeremy has asked her 2 days later when he discovered he hadn't been seeing his son. He is with Auntie Chioma, Mabel responded with an uninterested tone. Why would you take my son out there without my permission? Are you okay at all? He fumed. I am not in the right state of mind to be a mother right now, and you are always unavailable to spend time with your son. The only time you spent time with that boy was when he was a baby, so don't pretend to be interested in him. I have always taken him to Auntie Chioma even before our issues, so why is it different this time? She said. It's different this time because I no longer trust you. Are you planning to take my son away from me? Jeremy asked. Mabel chuckled and left the room. I want my son back here tomorrow, he shouted. The next morning, he woke up, shouting at Mabel to go and get him his son. Mabel thought it was a joke, but she was pushed out of the house in her pyjamas by Jeremy, who insisted that she wouldn't enter the house without his son. For the same son whose school you don't even know? Mabel screamed at him. She sat outside the flat, sobbing. Her neighbor had seen her at the door, and when she came to ask and found out she was in distress, she took Mabel to her flat. After trying to knock on the door to get Jeremy's attention, she gave Mabel a cloth, and Mabel left the house without any plan to come back into the marriage. Days later, when Jeremy discovered Mabel wasn't coming back, he invited Lovett into his house. Come spend some weeks with me. I have always looked forward to spending uninterrupted hours with you. This is the time, he said. Happily, Lovett packed her bags and went to Jeremy's house. Jeremy had stocked his freezer with food and drinks. He had employed the services of a maid to cook the food. He was so glad at Lovett's presence. 2 weeks later, he was taking stock of his finances in the past few weeks, and he was frowning. How have I spent 400,000 in the past 2 weeks? What have I been buying? Soliloquized. He sat up to do his calculations well. Just then, Lovett came in. Jeremy, this house feels so uncomfortable, she said. Jeremy looked up briefly and continued what he was doing. Didn't you hear what I said? She asked. What is it? I am in the middle of something important, please, said Jeremy. Lovett took the paper and pen from him. I am hungry, she screamed. Hungry? But there is food in the fridge, a lot of them, he said. That maid of yours is a bad cook. I can't eat her food, she said. Jeremy looked surprised. How is she a bad cook? Is it not the same food I have been eating? You have even told me countless times how you enjoy your food when you are eating, he said. Lovett rolled her eyes. That was a scam. I didn't want you to feel you were wasting your money hiring her. Anyway, I want a change of taste. I am tired of homemade meals, she said. Not again. Since you got into this food, you have only eaten the food in this house 4 times. The others have been eat out. Don't you know that is more expensive? He complained. Are you complaining? I was on my own when you told me to come and have a holiday in your house. Is this what a holiday looks like? Everywhere is boring. If this is what you mean by holiday, I think I should go back to my house, she said, and made for the door. Jeremy grabbed her and apologized. He gave her money to make her order. He started complaining after he left. He decided to employ another maid to handle the cooking as he was tired of paying for eat-outs morning and night every day. Lovett ate the food for 2 days and complained she was tired of the maid's cooking. Jeremy had been spending twice his usual expenses on her skincare. I didn't know skincare was this expensive, he murmured. He doesn't complain to her face most times because he didn't want to show weakness, and he knew she had many rich men out there willing to continue from where he stopped. He noticed he was spending triple of what he used to spend as a married man and father. He hasn't been able to send any money to his wife and son since they left. How would he, when he has no money left on him most times? Soon, he also got tired of her presence in his house. He found out there was nothing special about her after all. She isn't even as good in bed as my wife, he said. He wondered why they switched. When he was dating her and she lived outside his house, he used to enjoy every time spent with her. What changed? It then occurred to him that Lovett does nothing in his house. She doesn't look after him like his wife does. She doesn't bother about his food, his laundry, and many things his wife used to bother about. Ironically, he spends more on her than his whole family put together. Later on, he discovered he was becoming indebted, trying to keep Lovett as his woman. He didn't like the pressure he was facing, as Lovett most times would tell him stories of how some rich men wanted her. He realized he was living under the pressure of matching up the politician's standards. He started losing happiness. He started losing weight. He had Lovett in his house, yet he was sad. That had always been his dream, to have her in his home. He talked to a senior colleague who told him he had been wrong. You failed to realize you are a man with needs, and needs will always supersede wants. Lovett appeals to your eyes, but she can't meet your needs. She doesn't have the programming of your wife. You left your wife for her just because she puts in more attention into looking good, which is sponsored by your money. If you invest your resources into your wife, do you know she will turn out more beautiful and you still enjoy her maternal touch? He bowed his head in deep thought. He left there and tried looking for his wife, whom he hadn't called for 3 months. He went to her aunt's place. She wasn't there. He went to her friend's place. They chased him out. Only one of them opened up to him that his wife had traveled out of the country with their son. He opened his mouth agape.